Hello, folks. Hello, friends. Hello, chums. Hello. Don't have a word that rhymes with friends. Welcome to the episode 133 of the Noclip podcast. Jeremy Jane, what's a name that rhymes with friends or a word?
Benz.
The Benz. Hello, do you got the Benz? Do you have the Benz? You know who doesn't have the Benz? The people who are in that suburb.
Masterfully handled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could have gone with the Radiohead angle, but it was just sitting there. It was sitting there. I couldn't help it. What a tragedy. We'll talk about Dave the Diver later, though. Frank Howley, how are you doing, my friend?
Very good, very good.
That's it. Very good. Not going to give me anything else.
I could give a huge answer to that, give a small one, but no, I'm
That's
excited.
what people want. The Frank Howley. You have no idea the power that you wield on this podcast, Frank Howley.
It's Anime Expo weekend. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I found out the model who plays Ashley in Resident Evil 4 is going to be at Anime Expo signing autographs. So Peach Milky, I'm a big fan. They're a Twitch streamer. They're a model. They're a cosplayer. There's going to be other things at Anime Expo too, but
is Ashley the president's daughter?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is she like 40 now?
I'm trying to think. Whenever that game came out, 2005. So this is
2005.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years, something.
Did you guys ever see?
Who knows?
There was a Disney movie called My Date with the President's Daughter that every time I think about Resident Evil 4, I think about it. Had the brother from Boy Meets World was the main character, and he goes on a date with a girl, and she turns out to be the president's daughter.
Oh, it was like a Disney Channel thing, was it?
It was like a Disney Channel. It was like Johnny Tsunami.
Okay, yeah. All those classics.
I think of that every time I think of Resident Evil 4.
Look at these people. Look at this guy he looks like he's dressing up he looks like he's trying to be like Max Payne for Halloween or something. It's such a weird
That's
getup.
such a good takedown. If you saw someone wearing an outfit like that and you said that to their face, it'd be a really good takedown.
It's like Boogie Nights Max Payne. I feel also I do love I always loved in Disney movies where they had the like sort of the quintessential Western princess of the sort of blonde, she's literally wearing a pink dress in this picture, blonde girl with a kind of a ski, like a kind of like a rocker guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
They were definitely trying to appeal to our.
Yeah, they were like, you're a loser too, and you could still date the most high-ranking daughter in the country.
The first daughter.
The first daughter.
Wow. Imagine that. Being so close to power. Unbelievable. You know who's close to power? All of our incredible Battle Pass holders. Arno, welcome to the team, Arno. We have Arno, Richard Matherson, James Brown, Jason Drury, Mark Rojas, Ryan Cobb, Tucker Morgan, Crimson Cyclist, Sven Huster, Tim Robinson, Forrest Pruitt, Andy Fegan, Eric Hamilton Schneider, Cameron Ladd. Man, Jeremy, for the podcast viewers, Jeremy has a piece of paper. Do you have that? Do you have Cameron Ladd written up on your wall all the time? You just pulled that down?
I wrote it during the intro.
Amazing. Alex Couchet, George see, if I say it slow, I mess them up. George Chakottis. George, send me the correct pronunciation, like I've done here with Andy Fegan, who I was calling Fagan forever, like he was from Oliver Twist or something. Oliver. I'm trying to remember all my lines from Oliver, but I can't remember.
We need
any
to get
of them
you to do like a full performance of your role.
Of my role of what was I was about to say something which is not. I was about to say Shylock.
That's what I always think too.
Yeah, but that's Merchant of Venice. Okay. I did not play Shylock in Merchant of Venice. I still have all my. Unfortunately, I have several pounds of flesh I would like to get rid of. Actually, fuck, I forget the guy's name. I always forget his name. Whatever. Jacob Godserve, and of course Tohir Tiliev. Thank you all so much for supporting our podcast. Thanks to everyone for listening to our podcast. We're going to be dripping out some Patreon exclusive podcasts to tempt you over to the dark side of paying for our rent and food and all the things we need to survive. Also, those of you watching the video version will notice that I'm wearing a Noclip hoodie. This is part of our new store. We have loads of new stuff. It's not launched quite yet. I've got cups here. I got Stunt Derby cups. I got Noclip pins in here. I got Noclip cups. We got mouse pads with fucking not Doom, but Doom-looking things. Not owned by Bethesda IP, but looking Orhack's awesome art on a mouse pad. A bunch of cool shit coming out. Excited to get that out in the next couple of weeks. But we're not here to talk about Noclip funding, we're here to talk about video games. And looking at our list today, I am once again shocked by the ghost of Bethesda's past. Frank Howley, was this inspired by the fact that we just talked about Oblivion all last week? Is that why you are currently playing Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah, it's. I think there's two things that inspired it. We were talking about Oblivion last week, and that made me go through my achievement list. And then I realized I never beat Fallout New Vegas, and I was I was looking at the achievements list, and like, there's so many achievements to get there. And then also, I saw Wes Anderson's new film Asteroid City, which takes place in the desert, and then next week I'm seeing Paramore in the desert in Palm Springs.
Right.
So I think collectively, and it's summer, and it's like, yeah, it just felt like the time and place. Which is funny, and we can get into it later, because I started playing Final Fantasy XVI. This is the newest RPG, and I've spent all of my time playing an RPG that's 13 years old, but has been this is not news, but this game is great. If anyone doesn't know,
where was your save file in Fallout New Vegas?
I was so pissed because I remember I stopped playing it, and I looked up the reason why I stopped playing. I played from like release date October 2010 till like November 11th, 2010. It was finals week in college, so I think I put it down and forgot about it. But in Fallout New Vegas, I got to like near the end where you have to pick one of the 3 or 4 allegiances.
So funny. That's so funny.
I
did the exact same thing.
I had choice paralysis, put it down, forgot about it. And then so it was. I saw it was on Game Pass. I downloaded it for whatever reason. My save wasn't in the cloud, so I just made a new file. But it turns out it was a good thing because I barely remember the game. As I'm playing, I'm like, this all feels. I vaguely remember stuff, but it all feels very, very fresh. And now I can play it way better because there's been 13 years of analysis and strategies and things like that.
Man, well, I mean, the cloud didn't exist when you played Fallout New Vegas. The cloud back then, the cloud was those fluffy things that are flying through the sky that sometimes look like animals and turds. So that's but in a way that's been helpful, I guess, because you've gotten to experience Fallout New Vegas from the start. I had the exact same thing about 5 years ago maybe. I went back and finally completed it because I had the same thing as you had. I had stopped at like Caesar's Legion and hadn't decided who I wanted to go for, and hadn't decided what I want. I'd done the Mr. House stuff and all this, but it was fun to go back and do it. What are the early quests like in New Vegas? Because I can remember all the stuff in the city, like the Elvises and all that sort of stuff. I don't remember much about the getting there, except I guess Death Claws and also that big dinosaur thing. Yeah,
so the big dinosaur thing is where you meet Miss Boone, the sniper, and you have to find Boone's wife and find out what happens to Boone's wife. So you get to this little town with the dinosaur. Boone's wife is missing. You got to find out what happened. Should I spoil it? Should I say what happened to Boone's wife? Is that... you find out that
if you don't need to, maybe don't, because now you're tempting me. Like it's Jeremy with Oblivion as well. I'm like,
does Jeremy know what happened to Boone's wife?
Fallout New Vegas, I have played probably at least 2/3 of, and for whatever reason, you know how people sometimes joke and they're like, "Oh, I wish I could like erase that game from my memory and play it again." I think I was experimenting with recreational substances in college when I played this game, and I think I may have actually literally memory hold it. I mean, not these days, but back in the day.
That's amazing. I love it. That's good. That's a good way to do. Well, it sounds like maybe not the.
I don't know if it's a healthy way. Is it an effective way? Yeah, certainly.
Man, that's tremendous. Okay. So we've had this idea for this like patron exclusive podcast. I mean, we're doing the whole series where we're doing the interviewing people about their different jobs. Jesse's doing awesome work on that. We've already done a bunch of interviews for it. It's coming along really good. But I had another idea a few days ago, which has been, I feel like you guys have been suggesting something similar to me for a while, and also people on the Discord have, where we're thinking about doing like a Noclip like game club, like kind of like a book club, but every month we pick a different game and we play it a bunch, and then we do a patron exclusive podcast at the end of the month. Invite questions and comments from people as well, and then we just talk about this one game. Should it be Fallout New Vegas?
Ooh, I'd be so down.
The first episode, right?
I'm gonna replay it anyway for sure.
Oh man, I don't need an excuse. That could be a good time. So yeah, so what else is going on, Frank, in New Vegas? Tell us, regale us.
So it definitely happened last night where I picked up the game and I started playing, and it's so funny because when I started playing it last night, and I've been streaming it, which is fun because everyone is rushing because everyone wants to share their memories of Fallout New Vegas. Everyone is giving me tips and tracks. Pick this level, pick this gun, and so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I started playing last night, and the objective is get to New Vegas, get to Mr. House. But the way I play is like if I see a red dot on my map, I'm gonna go chase it because I want experience points. So I don't know if it was designed this way, but I'm fighting little like dogs or little geckos, little ants, and then all of a sudden I run into a giant Deathclaw camp, and it happens. It's like it happened 13 years ago, like Looney Tunes, or all of a sudden I see like my companion's been knocked unconscious, my robot's been knocked unconscious. I turn around and in one swipe I am knocked away, and then my body goes flying. That's like shit. Reload the save. Then I keep playing, and then I forget what they're called. Cardozas, these little like poison bugs fly at you. So you kind of learn if you stray too far off the main route, you're gonna get annihilated by the desert.
Yeah, that little noise. Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Like, there's one town. I think the second town you go to, it's the Legion are there, and everyone is been crucified. And they're like, tell these stories, these sinners. You're all degenerates. And then my favorite thing in any Bethesda type game is I just loot everything: books, cups, pans, tins, because I'm hoarding all of my bottle caps and things like that. And yeah, I've still yet to actually get into New Vegas because I keep getting distracted by side quests going to vaults. I think the first major quest I did is you find like there's a town's complaining that these ghouls are coming into town and killing people, and you speak to these friendly ghouls, and it's kind of like Heaven's Gate. They want to escape the Earth and fly to the moon. And then there's a scientist who thinks he is a ghoul. Like, it's a human scientist who's considered that he is a ghoul, and he's trying to help them get there. And you can sabotage, either make the rockets blow up or allow them to escape the planet. And yeah, it's funny because I never fully beat New Vegas, but I fully rinsed Outer Worlds because we did a documentary on it like 2 years ago.
Right.
And again, I think is it mostly the same team, right? It's Obsidian. It's
a not so much. Josh Scheuer was the creative director or lead designer on New Vegas, and I don't know, was he on the PoE team and then he was doing Pentiment? Was he on Outer Worlds? I actually can't remember. We didn't interview him for a doc. I don't know if he was.
I don't know if he was either. Yeah, he might have been on Pentiment by then. I'm not sure.
John Gonzalez, who was the creative design lead and the area design lead lead writer, I presumed. Yes. We did interview John for the Horizon Zero Dawn documentary back when he was at Gorilla. But yeah, this one has slipped through our fingers as well. Like, there's a couple of folks here. Fergus over there, of course. I guess Chris Avallone was chief creative. That was just because of Obsidian. I wonder if we're going to see more Chris Avallone, because his lawsuits were squashed. He ended up winning like a 7-figure sum apparently for defamation for some of that sort of stuff. So, he kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. I think he was working on Dying Light when all that stuff happened. But I don't know anything about the backstory of that stuff. But this was back with he was allegations against him with the sort of during that whole the video game wave of Me Too stuff that happened. But at least 2 of those have been squashed, and he's won court cases on them. And then looking at other folks, there's like Justin E. Bell was the sound designer was the guy at BGS we interviewed for the History of Bethesda stuff.
Oh yeah.
Was he? No. Was he Outer Worlds? I think he was in. In my head, he was in Bethesda, wasn't he, Justin Bell?
Oh, God, I think so hard to keep track.
I know, it's been so
long. That
long.
sounds right to me.
I'm pretty sure he is. I'm looking at his... maybe not. Maybe he was at... Yeah, all of his stuff is at Obsidian, so maybe we interviewed him at Obsidian. God, you're right. It all just... Time has compressed. I don't know what's going on.
Especially talking about audio and music, I feel like it's hard to play, because if someone's like, this is the Fallout, this is the Pip-Boy I like designed, you can visually associate it. With music, it's kind of like I was trying to capture the mood of the world and like the characters.
Oh, it's annoying me. Anyway, this is one that would be a good documentary to do. But in lieu of that, that might be a fun thing for us. Frank, you going to keep playing it, Frank, do you think?
Yeah, because again, I don't know why I'm really hooked on Xbox achievements. This all started maybe a year or 2 ago. One of my good friends, Jared, who runs Cheap Ass Gamer, I noticed that he had like 4,000 more achievement points than me, so I just turned it into like an achievement war. I just dared him, like, Jared, I'm gonna get more achievements than you. And then I kind of gave up. I got distracted, and then I noticed I was getting close, and I've since beaten him in achievements.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It did take a lot of work. I had to grind some Katamari. I did play My Peppa Pig and get all 1,000 achievement points. It only takes maybe 30 minutes. It's on Game Pass, so no shame in playing Peppa Pig.
Is that the 2D one? I think I played that with my daughter.
Yeah. That game is pretty nuts. You can go to the beach. You can go to your grandparents' house. You
go on a balloon.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was cool. You can build a campfire. I think that's everything.
I think I played it on PlayStation like an idiot and didn't get any of the achievement.
The finale of My Peppa Pig, and it's an achievement worth 200.
Spoilers.
I'll go there. I'll go there.
It's okay.
It's worth 200 achievement points. The last level in My Peppa Pig is called Go to Potato World or Go to Potato Town.
Oh yeah.
So there's a theme park called Potato Town, and if Mommy Pig and Daddy Pig will take you to Potato Town if you've done all the other achievements in the game. So 200 achievement points for Potato Town.
Gotta spend time with your grandparents.
Yeah, you gotta
go to the beach. Does that guy ever fix the road? Remember when you go into the...
No, it's like, I don't know why that every time you go back and forth. Yeah.
You have to do this stupid little cutscene when a guy...
it drives me crazy.
Yeah, with the fucking... Yeah.
They just said to pad the game.
Are they maybe they're hiding a load, like it's God of War when you're going through the crevice and you have to like go really slow and it's cinematic, but they're really
be. Do you know this? Have you seen the aesthetic of Peppa Pig, Jeremy?
No, it probably looks like
Google
crap,
Peppa
though.
Pig for me.
Okay.
Google Peppa Pig, and then
I'm gonna get
if it is a load screen.
Now.
If it is a load screen, they need to do some optimization.
Okay. Yeah. There's about 7 colors in this entire palette.
And the game literally, one of the cool things about it is the game literally looks the same as the show, because it's like the South Park game weirdly was in 3D. When they did the N64 one, but like a Stick of Truth, I guess. But
which also was Obsidian, right?
Yeah.
So you're right. Yeah. God, wow. And they have such a crazy fucking Path of Exile and then Grounded, and what are they doing over there? Pentiment. Yeah, we should just convince Josh Sawyer to spend a day with us and do Pentiment and everything, the whole shebang. Yeah. Granny Pig, Miss Rabbit, good stuff. All right, there you go. Didn't have Peppa Pig on my fucking bingo card for episode 133 of the Noclip podcast.
We got there.
We did. Frank, do you have anything to say about Final Fantasy 16?
I will say that slightly disappointed. I think the gameplay is awesome. It's so weird because they have. The style of these games has evolved, but it's been gradual. And it's made me rethink and want to revisit Final Fantasy 13 because I feel like people were very cruel to 13. I really like Final Fantasy 13, but that was the first one in the series that went very linear. And playing Final Fantasy 16, it's so good. It's so linear.
Really?
But the gameplay is like Devil May Cry. It's very action-focused, even more so than like Final Fantasy VII Remake. The combat is so good. What I do not care about are the cutscenes, and it's like a third of the game is just cutscenes.
Wow. But
it's very like drab, and I almost want to say miserable. It's not so cute and silly. It's
not a summer game, is it, Frank?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely a winter game. So I'm like, damn. So I'm actually kind of I'm skipping cutscenes and having a way better time. But when there are like monsters and there are some sex scenes and stuff. So I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, which is a little taboo for Final Fantasy. It is produced by Yoshi P, who did Final Fantasy 14. So I feel like this game leans into more like MMO gameplay loops. Like you'll get some quick quests, you'll upgrade your loot, you'll go back to your hub. But gameplay is cool, but yeah, it's not grabbing me yet. But I'll keep playing it. I like these Final Fantasy games. Like 7 Remake's on a caliber of its own. That's awesome. But like 15, 16, 13, they're kind of dopey, but that's why I like them. It's kind of twee and silly and light, and there's always this weird juxtaposition between monsters, and then there's chocobos and moogles, and then NPCs who are... There's a quest in Final Fantasy 16 where you go to a restaurant and you have to serve customers soup just because you want to help people. I don't know. But I don't know, but it's also that Yakuza thing of like, this is so stupid. I love it. So I'll keep playing it. I'll report in on it, but I'll play every Final Fantasy that comes out. And I end up liking the side ones even more. Like I played Lightning Returns, and this reminds me a lot of Lightning Returns, which I don't know if many people played, but I liked it.
Jeremy, you grew up playing those games. When did you bounce off kind of keeping up with the new ones?
I think I've played every Final Fantasy game up until 10.
Okay.
And that is where I cut off. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the action RPG, just like gameplay style. Even I'm not the first person to say this. I've heard a lot of people say this, but Yakuza and Final Fantasy have sort of like swapped polarities as series, where
Right.
Yakuza is now becoming more like it's turn-based, the new ones and stuff, and is kind of like picking up on a lot of the essence of what people liked about old Final Fantasy, whereas Final Fantasy is now becoming like a brawler. I don't know. There's something about it where the Yakuza games are the same way, where I really like a Dragon, and I'm going to continue to play it, but the older ones, despite having incredible stories, it just, the like beat 'em up brawler gameplay style just doesn't grab me for whatever reason.
Right.
And so, yeah, I messed around with the 16 demo a little bit, and I considered talking about it on the podcast like last week, I think, whenever the demo came out, and I kind of just didn't want to be like, I don't want to like shit on anyone's fun, because like people are really enjoying it, and it's like I don't have anything to say about it that's like very celebratory. I think it's just not for me.
Right.
It's incredible looking, and it has good game feel, like it looks and sounds good. But yeah, I just like what I'm looking to get out of Final Fantasy is kind of not that. Yeah, the like Game of Thrones tone is a little bit of a turnoff for me as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's very like, it seems like a game that is for people who really like modern Final Fantasy, and I think it's perfect for them, and I can see why people really love it, but maybe not my cup of tea.
It's interesting, isn't it? There's so many of these games, I feel like, over the years that have like not had great critical receptions, but then when you talk about them years later, people are like, oh, that game was actually good. Like, people are a bit of it down. I wonder, will this one end up being a bit of an inverse of that? I don't know. I'd love to hear from people. Podcast at noclip.video, but we have two sort of not overly positive litmus tests from the two of you, and the game obviously seems to have done really well with critics, at least. I think it's got like a 90 Metacritic score or something, which for modern Final Fantasy is pretty good. Yoshi P will get his bonus, I bet, after this one. I'm just going to double check, is that right? 88 Metacritic. So it's
pretty good.
A lot of reviews on it. So yeah, interesting. You can never tell with these Final Fantasy games. I'm just going to run through a couple of games that I played. Trepang2 or Trepang Squared. I don't know what this game is called. There is no Trepang1, so it's very confusing. Frank got this on my radar because he wanted to do a video for Noclip crew for it next week, and we definitely should. It is basically Fear. It is First Encounter Assault Recon, the first-person shooter from the early aughts, which was all about fucking shooting up military dudes with sweet bullet time and corridor crawling and stark light and all that sort of stuff. I'm not super far into it. I'm maybe 2 hours in. It's been very corridor crawly, but I think after a slow start, it starts to get really interesting with, I guess, remember there was a time between, like, I don't know, 2000, let's say Half-Life 2 and a couple of years after that, where there was a sort of desire to make first-person enemies actually smart and actually difficult to kill, instead of the just either bullet sponges of loot shooters or the waves of dumbasses of most first-person like military games like Call of Duty, where you're just, you finish your time in Okinawa having killed 280 people, just like back in the wartime. This one, Trepang Squared, whatever the fuck this game is called, Trepang2, is definitely in the like, all right, we're gonna start putting like shield padding on these dudes, and we're gonna have some of them like melee harder, and we're gonna have some of them wearing like having big riot shields and stuff like that. Like, one of the first difficult things I had in the game was when I opened an elevator door and there was 4 of these fuckers with riot shields crouched, just being like, try it. And then like they're shooting at me and I'm jumping over them and they're moving their shields. And then I figured out the way to kill them was to slide tackle them, like cool. Soccer.
That's awesome.
And just make them just slide tackle them, and they go blah, and then go into slow motion, and I'm like a foot away from them with a shotgun and just pump them full of lead, just absolutely destroy them. The game is first person. It's very like tight, sort of like that era. Like, think about Fear. If you've ever played Fear, it was a game that took place in dark industrial buildings. Offices, warehouses, all that sort. It does expand beyond that eventually. But like at the start of it's very much like that. The rooms are dark. There are flashlights on the enemies' guns. There are like red, flares thrown down on the ground to give it that stark type of lighting. You're controlling a character who, up until this point at least, is only able to hold 2 guns at a time. So you're sort of like doing some tactical swapping of, do I go shotgun, do I go pistol? There's a couple of different assault rifles. If you hit the Q button, it slows down time, which is on a little timer for you. And much like Fear, the way Fear, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the way Fear worked is that time slowed down, but your gun didn't. So if you took a shot in slow-mo, it went it went maybe not the same speed as a regular bullet, but it went faster than like how slow the world is at that time. And also your movement, you're able to move around, maybe 50% faster than the rest of them or whatever. So you have those interesting like, oh, let's get in the room, slow down time, they're all crawling, and I'm just going to go boom, 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 take them out one by one, sort of Matrix style. Or I don't know, maybe this is Morbin. Maybe I'm Morbin in this game, you know what I mean? I'm taking my inner Morbius and just like entering a room and destroying everyone. And then there's if you hit E, there's like a cloak, which is kind of like a good, I've run out of slow-mo juice or I have to reload, I'll just kind of disappear into this corner and cloak for a little while. It's also on a little timer. And apart from that, it's like, you're slide tackling a bunch and jumping and stuff like that. I remember Fear had the whole, the camera was inside of the body type, inside of the 3D model kind of thing, so you could jump over stuff and you'd see the leg and all that. It doesn't have that, but you can like clamber over stuff. It's lots of like locomotion and things like that. I had to I don't know if this game actually might be better to play on a gamepad. I like the accuracy of the mouse, but one of the things that I've noticed is the slide tackle or whatever the fuck the slide button was on like shift, which is just super awkward to get to. So I mapped it to the middle mouse button. So I just click in on the mouse button now, and he'll do his little Maradona slide and take out some dudes. But yeah, I'm into it. Frank, do you have any questions about this? Because I know you were looking at it, and you were kind of saying we should take a peek. It looks great too. Like I think from a graphics perspective, it's not amazing, but I think it's the look it's going for. It's fun. Lots of blood, lots of sharp lighting.
What's the kind of like setting? Is there paranormal stuff? Is it like Equilibrium, like cyberpunk dudes? Like what's kind of?
Yeah, it's closer to. It's I don't know. I'm assuming this game is made somewhere in Asia. It has the vibe of just with the storytelling and the music and things like that. But it is like Fear. It's kind of I don't know where in the world it's set right now, but there is definitely supernatural. What do we? It's hard to explain. I wouldn't say supernatural necessarily, but like non-human enemies in it. The sort of conceit of the intro is sort of gives away some of that sort of stuff. Maybe like nuclear. Had the effects of nuclear things on the body, radiation, things like that. It's doing some stuff there, but it's not, it has an intro sequence and a little bits and bobs, but it's not like, it feels in the same way that like Fear was made, it was a Monolith game, I believe. So it wasn't like a huge AAA game. Like it was a really good first person shooter, but, it was somewhat, double A in terms of its like, budget. This to me feels like a really like high, like a AAA game, or I hate using all these fucking terms, but like it's an indie game, but it's like at a like Team 17 is publishing this game for whoever's making it, and Trepang Studios, as they're known, I suspect they are this is their first game, but they're sort of going whole hog on it. Like I would guess there's a team of like 30 people on it, something like that. I think it was in early access for a bunch as well. I'm not sure. There is a demo up as well for it, so you can check it out if you want yourself. And yeah, there's like a double pack with Ultra Kill here, but I don't know why. I don't know if that's the same developer. I doubt it.
I don't think so. Maybe just because they're similar gameplay styles or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that before, where there's like a bundle with another game that isn't from the same.
I've seen them by genre sometimes, where they'll do like the immersive sim bundle, and it's like a bunch of. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially with indies, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that I could see that maybe. But like this is published by Team 17, and then Ultra Kill was was New Blood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. Trepang Squared. Check it out, I guess, if you like fear games. Was there anything else I wanted to say about it? There was something that popped into my head a second ago. I like the much like Fear. I'm pretty sure they did this in Fear. I remember they definitely did in Half-Life 1 and 2, where you have the enemy soldiers kind of doing good barks, like saying like, "Oh, there's someone in here," blah 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 blah, blah, and like screaming and stuff. The game does a good job of that. There's a lot of like fun, like last guy standing kind of situations. You fuck them up. But yeah, interesting game. Trepang2. Jeremy. Trepang Squared. Jeremy. What have you been playing aside from Earthbound? Although you haven't been playing Earthbound.
I have been playing Heroes of Might and Magic in preparation for another Noclip Hall of Fame event. I don't know. I've mostly just been working on game dev and working on that video and
nice
and researching. I do have an interesting little prepared segment if you boys would like to see some. So you know how we were talking off the pod about off-brand Mario stuff and how funny it is to see because Mario is such an established corporate icon now that it's
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it's Chris Pratt. It's kind of like Mickey, where like at this point the Mario I'm interested in is any Mario that like subverts the corporate mainstream notion of who Mario is. So I went on the used fashion marketplace Grailed yesterday, and I was just looking at
what's it called? Grailed.
Grailed, yeah.
Grailed.
Grailed is where you get like $600 bomber jackets and like weird merch from events you didn't attend and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You get like a $900 T-shirt of Cloud Strife that's actually really cool. So I grabbed some of my favorite off-brand Mario merch, and I know this is a audio medium, but what I figured is I could post like 3 to 5 of my favorites, and you guys could describe them. Maybe we could.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
where are you gonna post them?
I'll post them in the Noclip staff Discord, which I especially like because Jesse will have no context for them.
That's true, and I didn't the last time. What did you post? You posted some weirdness in there one stage.
It was like a bunch of custom WWE game characters.
That's what it was. Yeah, I remember that when I was in Ireland.
Okay, so we're gonna start with this one. This is Frank. I feel like you should describe this one. All right. First Mario in the chat now.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. This is so badass. This is Mario wearing a Raiders jersey and wearing a Raiders hat. How much is that? I want.
Okay, so that's the I didn't write down every price, but I remember most of them offhand. That one was $235.
Oh dear Lord!
Yeah.
This is a fucking dirty shirt. Like the shirt is like has like stains all over it. It's definitely not like. Also, Mario is like has like a sickly sort of like yellow skin tone.
Yeah, and his chin is like puffy
hair.
and deformed.
Yeah, he's just wearing Raiders gear. I wonder what Raiders it was.
Yeah,
was it
know.
Oakland? Was it LA? Was it Oakland again?
I assumed Oakland just because this dude looks like he's attending. Oh, we got it on the cam now. Okay, he looks like he's attending like the barbecue and like wearing his gear, on Sunday.
I might be crazy, but is this a Mark Davis reference? The owner of the Raiders?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because he's got like red hair and he's got a puffy chin. So this might be like a Mark Davis Mario. Google him.
Okay, let me look this up.
Yeah.
Mark Davis Raiders. Oh, okay. I could.
Right?
He's so specific looking that
he has like a fucking bowl cut for a haircut. Like they like the mom, like your mom put a cereal bowl on your head and just cut around the edges. Like he looks like a character from the little, what are they called?
Rascals.
Little Rascals, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He's an absolute prick, stealing, going wherever the money is.
All right, so we got Mark Davis Raiders Mario. This second shirt, Danny, I'm going to have you describe this. This is probably, in terms of sincerely liking any of these shirts, this is probably my number one.
Okay, here we go. Okay, oh my God, it's another, well, yeah, these are all Mario ones, I guess. This is a skateboard shirt. It's blue. It has skate to play written on it. And then a sort of a picture of an actual skateboarder doing like a Benny Hanna or something with Super Mario Bros. 2 written underneath it. And then we have Mario on a skateboard, just like skating around, wearing pink. I like the colors. I like the use of pink and yellow against the blue.
Yeah.
But he does look like he's gonna fall off the skateboard.
He's so deep into like a carve or a grind of some sort. He's really leading into it.
I hope he's on a bowl. If he's not,
this
was
another $200 shirt.
Is this just where rich kids like waste their money?
It's gotta
is that
be.
what this
It's gotta
website
be.
is?
I became aware of it because I was watching a YouTube video that talked about I was watching a Tim Rogers YouTube video where he talked about a William Gibson bomber jacket that he bought on Grailed for like $400 or something.
Oh my god!
And so I was like, "What the fuck is Grailed?" And I had to look it up. And then, of course, I immediately started looking for like off-brand Cloud Stripe shirts that cost $900.
Wow.
So I got 3 more here. One of them.
Okay.
I got 2 more. I feel like I'll send this one just because this wasn't one. I remember seeing this in high school so much I had to send it just because it kind of took me back. Frank, why don't you explain this one?
Oh, this is I've run across this shirt in the wild.
Me too.
I've never seen this.
Oh, this is a classic.
This is a great one. This is the caption is "Weed." It is Mario with a joint in his mouth. His eyes are red, and he's got a weed symbol on his hat in place of the iconic M. So it's just Mario, and it says "Weed" spelled W-I-I-D. This is
like
awesome.
The Nintendo Wii logo, basically. That is, I feel like that is a subgenre of clothing in and of itself. Just we are taking this known property. And we are we are flipping it on its head and making it stoner.
There's still every mall in America has kiosk. There's always a kiosk that just sells that, where it's like anime characters with tattoos or like Cinderella, like Rockabilly Cinderella, Disney princesses. Like I love it every time. It's so cute.
It's the
Jesse
best.
just jumped into Discord and he's like, "Oh, this is going to be a good episode."
he's right. It reminds me of there's where I grew up. It was Seabrook Beach was like the kind of like trashy beach town, and they would have the boardwalk, and there would be the guy there with the table out, and he'd have these big oversized like XL white t-shirts, and he would airbrush whatever you wanted on it. And it was good, but like kind of not that good, but like good enough that the characters would be the right sort of proportions and be recognizable in the right colors, but just kind of weird and not good enough to be like that very satisfying like Tweety Bird, but his head is a little like misshapen and oval shaped or whatever.
Me and my wife had this, and this is going to be just like the Avatar conversation I had last week, but me and my wife are constantly, whenever we come across, those guys who like are just like using like spray cans to make like pictures of like of space and shit.
Yeah.
When you're on holidays and or you're on a boardwalk, right? And they're just like using spray cans to make like planets and shit. There's always a huge group of people watching that.
Yeah.
Like, fucking why? like no offense to the craft, but like literally these people, they're like it's like the Native American panpipe players that are in every town. It's just like a sort of it's like if you get enough people in a city, in Sim City, it spawns one of these guys who's painting fucking like shit. So why are people like, we'll go past, there's like 40 people watching this guy do it, like in the Embarcadero in San Francisco, or like when I was in Rehoboth Beach. I'm like, why? Like, have they never seen this before? Is this just like if you grow up on the coast, you're used to these people, but if you didn't, you don't?
Yeah, I guess so. It's people they don't have that in Kansas. The closer you get to the ocean, the more you have spontaneous emergent SimCity popping up of those guys.
Right. Culture.
Yeah, of culture. Yeah, it's a culture bonus.
Frank has a shirt with him.
Yeah,
He's a real life shirt.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of Mario, and I'm going to Nintendo Land tomorrow, so I think I might wear this shirt there just to confuse people.
Cool.
This is my holy grail of knockoff Mario merch. This is, I'm gonna see if this is.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I saw this one on Grailed. I almost posted this one.
Oh my God.
This one, it's like I don't know, 2005 Soulja Boy era swagged out Mario. He's wearing like a Bape sweater, super baggy pants. He's blinged out. He has a giant M pimp symbol. It is it's
bet
beautiful.
It spins.
Yeah.
That's
my favorite
amazing.
part about that shirt is how angry he looks.
Yeah,
He's furious.
so angry. His left eyebrow is over his cap for some reason.
He's doing like double people's eyebrow, the double people's eyebrow, the Dwayne Johnson. Like,
You're right.
So
Yeah,
much
true.
attitude.
That's rad.
Wow, that's a really
have
good
fun at Super Mario World. Are you going to get to go on any rides? Because last time I went, it was just like
we
fucking
bought
rammed.
It's because I'm anticipating it is Anime Expo weekend, so half of the country's otakus are going to be in town, probably going there. But we did buy the early pass, so
cool.
you can get in. So I want to do the Mario Kart ride. I want to buy a fake piranha plant. I like fake plants. I want to buy a fake piranha plant. So we'll see. And then got to catch Waterworld, and then any Fast and Furious props I'm all about. So
the one of the Waterworld dudes hurt himself a couple of months back. Did you see that? He fell off
on TikTok.
Yeah, he's all right now apparently. But it was that main dude. You know the guy who plays the
Kevin Costner.
baddie? Yeah, Kevin Costner. Yeah, that's right.
Is that what he's up to these days?
Oh my god. Yeah, it's rough times for Kevin Costner.
Damn, dude, they got him in the live performance.
He's up at City Walk every week. The one thing that annoys me about this weed shirt is that the text is misaligned with the.
Oh yeah, no, this is like a Spencer's gift, like a $15-19 shirt in the mid 2000s. All right, I got two more. I got two more.
Okay, two more.
Because the weed was, I almost didn't post the weed because I've seen it so many times, but I'm glad that you hadn't seen it.
We'll post. I'll post a link to all these somewhere.
I was gonna say
maybe on Discord. Maybe on the Noclip subreddit.
Okay, cool. I'll tweet some of these too on the day this pod goes live.
Perfect.
All right, two more. This one is confounding.
Okay. Who's mine? Is it?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my dear! What the fuck? Wow, there are levels to this. It was like 6 or 7 different things that are weird about this, and they all kind of like came one after one.
Wow.
Okay, so this is a Super Mario Galaxy rip-off shirt, and there are a number of things that are weird about it. Number one, but just the general artwork is very like. I was drawing this on the back of my notebook, and it's all squiggly and weird. The most shocking thing is that for some reason, Kirby, I guess Kirby is Mario's face.
Oh my god, Frank has the shirt.
No, he's holding it up.
Oh, okay. I alt-tabbed back, and I just saw that, and I freaked out for a second.
I wish.
Oh my god, I just lived in a better universe for like 20 seconds.
And he could have been like, Frank, it's being sold for $4,000.
Yeah,
you should, and then you realize it was Frank that's selling it.
Oh my god, I wanted that to be true so bad that I believed it.
And then the last thing I guess to say about it on this black shirt is that instead of Super Mario Galaxy, it actually says Chinatown Market Galaxies.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I know what a Chinatown Market is, but I don't know what those 3 words together signifies at all.
It seems like somebody who is running a bootleg t-shirt shop in Chinatown of some metropolitan area.
You're right.
Was like, I'm gonna make a Mario off-brand shirt, and they were like, how can I make Mario less likely to sue me? And they decided the answer was to replace his face with Kirby's entire body.
To do a twofer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a good one. So I got one more. This is probably my favorite. It doesn't have the aesthetic quality of the Let's Go Skate to Play Mario shirt, but this is sort of the final entry here. Frank, why don't you describe this?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What the hell? Ew.
Oh my god, this is so gross.
Don't you dare ew this.
This is so gross.
This is
God.
like the ugly Christmas sweater equivalent. This is a vest. I don't know if you'd call it a vest. It looks like something you don't want to put on your skin.
Is it a tank top? Or what?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. This I don't know. It's a red little furry vest with Luigi and Toad. I don't know why. Like, there's no Mario on this. No. It's Luigi, Toad, back? A star, and that probably looks like it.
Oh, I can see him on the back.
And a green shell.
You can see through it. See?
Oh yeah, you can see his hat.
But
yeah,
the scale of this feels weird because this looks like something you would put on like a Ken doll or something, or a teddy bear. I can't imagine a human or any, like, this seems like a toddler piece. I don't know. It's very unsettling.
It is a grandma vest.
Do you have a? Yeah, it looks like a. Oh God, it's like a vest. It looks like a vest that's been made out of a beach towel.
Yeah, it does. It looks
like a fluffy beach towel.
It looks like a material that not only would a grandma be wearing it, but you would not want to receive a hug from your grandmother if she was wearing it.
No,
like it smells odd and it feels bad.
You know the way some fabrics are like more time resistant than others? Yeah. This is like at the fucking absolute bottom of the scale. This is just
that is a 5 minutes after production was complete. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Oh my God. You don't by any chance have the link to that where you can see if there's a picture of the back?
That listing did not have the back, but believe it or not,
it didn't.
I did see another listing earlier today of the exact same item. Yeah, let me see if I can.
Oh my God. What is wrong?
It's not one of a kind, which shocks me.
Are people just going to like markets on boardwalks and in Chinatowns, buying up a bunch of this crap and then putting it up on this expensive thing and pretending that it's like super limited edition.
That sounds like it. Yeah, I looked it up. So these are fleece vests. These are actual adult size clothing.
For monsters.
I got. Sorry, I just posted a link to this. This adds so much lore to this. There are multiple different vests with different designs.
No.
Also, look at the prices.
Oh, no.
That one is the one I posted was $160.
And they have Japanese tags on them with Nintendo. So I don't know. Yeah, these are These are genuinely vintage.
No.
I don't.
No.
This one says Cartoon Network streetwear.
Cartoon Network, and it has another perplexing combination of Luigi, a Goomba, a block, and it looks. God, this is so weird. It's almost like they're all the same but different, slightly, like differently aligned, different picture of Luigi. It's like, how the fuck did these get made this way? Was it just like, all right, what's the brief today, boss? Okay, here's a towel. I want you to cut it into, stick a zipper on it, because these are zip up as well. Business cash. Stick a zipper on it and just find a bunch of clip art from Nintendo, but make sure it's not official Nintendo, and then just put them wherever you want. And then they were like, okay, and came out with all these.
Yeah, that sounds about right. They also kind of look like they have the vague appearance that the ink has run a little bit. So there's like this kind of blurry quality to the whole thing that's very disturbing. They look like a vintage.
Stink.
They probably smell very vintage.
Super Mario.
So yeah,
Look at that.
That's all I got. But I invite anyone listening. I invite you to go and delve into the world of off-brand Mario merchandise, because, as I said earlier, the fun thing about a corporate mascot is subverting it. So you don't want like the Mickey Mouse T-shirt. You want like a Mickey Mouse T-shirt that says like Mickey is my dad and he does crime.
If you want to see pictures of these, please head over to Reddit. Noclip on Reddit. I don't know how you say Reddit things. Fucking r/Noclip.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking go check it out. Reddit. Fuck Reddit, because they're just being dumb. But also check. I don't know. That's the best place to put pictures, I guess.
True.
Thank you for blessing us with this, Jeremy.
Of course, yeah. I was looking at these last night, and I was like, I feel like I need to. I know it's an audio medium, but I feel like I need to share this.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Other beautiful things that I've been playing. Dave the Diver is out today. 1.0 is out today. Around last night, no, the night before last, I kind of got to the final. I completed all the quests and got to the hilariously, you're talking to this this person that you meet, and they're like, that's the end until 1.0. And he's like, what's 1.0? And he's like, I don't really know, but apparently if you go to Discord, you'll learn more about it. And there's a link to Discord. And Dave the Diver's like, I don't know what Discord is. What are you talking about? And he's like, I'll just come back later and there'll be more things to do. So it's out now. It's 10% off at the moment on Steam, so it's down to $17.99 instead of $20. This game is great. It's definitely going to be I feel like sleeper indie hit of the year. Well, it's not sleeper anymore. It's got 12,000 reviews and overwhelmingly positive on Steam. But yeah, it looks like they've added a bunch of content to it from, I basically had maxed out loads of things, and then there was clearly more story, clearly more levels of the restaurant, clearly more unlocks. I don't know how much is in 1.0 that wasn't in the base game, but I would say the base game felt like it was maybe 30% of what they were sort of going for, maybe 40 or 50, I don't know. So I'm excited to jump into the back of that. And I've also been playing Battlefield Vietnam. So we've been doing this series where we're starting a new little sort of little mini series. We're doing a couple of episodes of something called Noclip Hall of Fame over on Noclip Crew, which is basically in between projects when we're sort of handling stuff. Sometimes there's stuff where I'm busy or Jeremy's busy or Frank's busy, and then the other person's not necessarily so busy. So it's like a fun excuse to go back and do some retrospectives, like half video essay, half let's play on some classic games. Jeremy put a great video up about Earthbound earlier this week. He's working on Might and Magic now. Is it Might and Magic 3?
It is Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Okay.
And it's going to be very interesting because Might and Magic as a label is one of those things that everyone knows, but few people kind of know the origins of.
Absolutely, I have no idea.
And it is further confounded by the fact that it was 3DO went bankrupt who owned it in the 2000s, and then it was handed off to Ubisoft, who bought it for $1.3 million, and then made Dark Messiah and a bunch of other stuff. But
or rather forced Arcane to wedge Dark Messiah into their random game they were making. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is incredible, but this has been the fun thing about the Hall of Fame idea for a show is that it's very malleable, and so as you're I mean, in my mind, what it is kind of you're hanging out with your friends, and you're like, where did Might and Magic come from, dude? I don't really even know anything about it, and then you sit and read Wikipedia for 3 hours. It's that condensed into 7 minutes. So yeah, it'll be a mini history lesson on Might and Magic and what that label means and where it comes from too.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I'm doing one on Battlefield Vietnam. It's been tricky though. First of all, Battlefield Vietnam not available anywhere at the moment. You gotta have a boxed copy, which I do, or you can just get it. It's on abandonware websites. You can just pick it up. And then once you have it, it doesn't really work on Windows 10 very well. I'm not sure about 11. I assume it doesn't. Stop asking me to upgrade Windows. So I had to do a little bit of jiggery pokery to get that working. And then Shadowplay just does not know what the fuck's going on with Battlefield Vietnam. It's something Frank's nodding because he's like, yeah, idiot, I capture gameplay for you guys all the time. This is normal. So I had to get into a config file and basically force it to be windowed, which is very funny because the base resolution of the menus is 800 by 600, which is a comically small resolution when you're on a 2K monitor. And then when it's playing gameplay, I have it running at somewhere around 720p. So every time I hit escape to change a key binding, the window suddenly gets 20% as big or small. It just becomes super small. And then I hit escape to go back to the game and it goes, all right, back we go. But I'm able to shadow play it. The last thing I'm trying to fix in the game is the cutscenes, menu music. It's all there. That little, what's her name? Hanoi Jane or whatever she's name, soldier, the little lady on the speaker basically trying to get the Americans to put their weapons down. All that stuff's great and in there. The issue is that the game, when it ran all that awesome 70s Vietnam movie era music, it was doing it so off the disc. So you used to be able to replace the files. I'm pretty sure it was the disc. But in any case, you could either put in a different CD or play different files, have different files. And I used to play fucking, Korn and Limp Bizkit and shit when I was, flying around. If I was playing online, they'd just hear Ride of the Valkyries or whatever. But none of that stuff's working because I guess the CD's not in the drive or whatever. So we can't really do the quick let's play of that until I've solved that. So I'm trying to solve that. I've got my script written for it though, so I'm excited to get a little video up about Battlefield Vietnam. And that's all our games for this week. Little bit of housekeeping. I want to remind people to go check out the Earthbound video that Jeremy put up over on Noclip Crew. It's a great little 8 minutes of video essay and then showing off the game, which I think it primes you for showing off a bit of gameplay and getting into the game itself after you've heard a bunch about it for a while. If you're not an Earthbound fan, I think it's a great way because I don't know much about it, and it was a great introduction for me. The Immortality doc is rendering over on that machine. It's halfway rendered at the moment. The first cut of it is. It's not final. Jeremy did an incredible job putting it all together. I've been tinkering on it now for the best part of a month, maybe. Put the script in. It needed a fairly light touch on the script. It was all kind of there. I'm excited about this one because it feels like, I don't know how big the audience is for watching a doc on Immortality, because first of all, you have to have played Immortality, which I don't think was a massive game. And then you kind of have to have seen the spoiler thing in Immortality and maybe have completed it. But I love the idea that there's going to be people who have completed that game, who are way into that game, who get an hour and 20-minute documentary to watch where we filmed the actors, we filmed the director, producer, costume person, set decorator or person in charge of all that sort of stuff, loads of the cast. It's beautifully shot, it's nicely edited, it's just like a fun, it's a real sit down with some popcorn doc, I think. And we could have tried to have made it more to people who hadn't played the game, but honestly, I just come out right and say it at the top of the video, if you've not played Immortality, this doc isn't for you. You should go play it, or we're going to spoil the fuck out of it. It's, so maybe go play Immortality. And I think that I'm actually excited about that, because some of our stuff is fairly mass appeal, Last of Us and Doom and, you know, things like that. It's like they're pretty big. Or Age of Empires doc, we figured like a lot of people like Age of Empires 2. It'll probably do, you know, all right, and it'll be very watchable for people. It's not very long. It's not very whatever. Whereas there's something fun and indulgent about making something you know is going to be for a small but passionate audience and just killing it. So I'm excited to get that out. Awesome work, dudes. Great work on the gameplay as well, Frank. There's so much of it. In there, and all the tagging was super good. Vampire Survivors, I'm also trying to get done this week or get to a first cut on it, basically. So that is coming along well, and it's almost there. Our Burger King documentary is coming along good as well. I talked to the one of the, I think he was the, sorry, I'm stalling for a second because I'm trying to make sure that I can talk about the right person here. Let me just say I talked to one of the like folks who was head of both of all those games. He told me some fantastic anecdotes about developing them, about the design behind them, about working with Burger King and Microsoft and all the agencies. He gave me some new information about one of the games, which I think is absolutely hilarious, about who worked on it and what engine it uses. So we're going to talk about that. And Frank is going to finish this one off by interviewing somebody very interesting, Frank.
Yeah. One of my longtime internet friends, I met him through like Mega 64 circles, but Leroy Patterson, who also used to be a hardcore wrestler, he owns 4,000 copies of Sneak King. It was just a thing he started doing, and he became known, and people started sending him copies. So yeah, he has 4,000 copies of Sneak King, so it'll be fun to interview him about that, his obsession, how this started, even like how often does he find new copies in the wild, but I think he's a key part of the game's legacy, and I guess even the meme culture of it all. So, and yeah. Leroy's local in LA, and I've hung out with him in the past and filmed with him a bunch. So it'll be nice to catch up with him and then also spotlight him. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. I think that sort of makes the doc for us. We have like all the we have 2 great interviews. We'll have his one. I'm doing a bunch of research and VO and stuff for it. We'll film some burgers. It'll be a good time. Jeremy, have you filmed the boxes for that one yet?
I don't think so. I can't picture the box for it, so.
Yeah, I have to remember. There's 3 of them, so the chances are you haven't then. I think we have a filming boxes day coming because there's a couple of other ones that I want to do as well, Battlefield Vietnam and some other stuff. But that should be a fun project. All about those Burger King ass video games that came out. I'm excited to. Leroy came up in both interviews.
Really?
They've mentioned it. Both of them mentioned him. The second guy mentioned him unprompted.
That's
so awesome. I was like, that's very cool. So we have great cuts over there. Other bits and bobs. The Stunt Derby demo is staying up for another week. Do you want to hear some numbers? Do y'all want to hear some numbers about how Next Fest went? So Next Fest was it's not all about the numbers. It's also about the feedback, and I think it helped us a lot. Me and Alex were talking to a bunch of publishers prior to this, and we basically said pause to all of them. And we're producing a video about the publisher stuff for Noclip Crew. It'll be up in the next month. We basically said pause to all that sort of stuff to kind of figure out what the game needed. We put the demo up, and it was rough in some parts and super cool in others. Like I did a stream where I made a whole level on the stream and then made a server with the level, and then people who were watching the stream downloaded the demo and joined me on the level, and we raced. Like that was really cool. And also like put 200 bots in it as well. It was a good time. But for Next Fest, we had obviously we're at a bit of an advantage because we have a YouTube channel and, I have a decent Twitter following and all that sort of stuff. So we're taking that into account as we're talking about all of this sort of stuff, including how we're talking to publishers and whatnot. The totals, they're not accurate anymore. This was maybe a week. This is maybe 4 days ago, so they've gone up a bit. I'll just round them up slightly. The wish lists, we're now at about 12,000 wish lists. When we started Next Fest, we were at, I think, 4, maybe. So a lot for a week. We were the 3rd in the racing section. We were the 3rd most wish listed game. Ollie Toad Pro Skater or whatever was one ahead of us, which I thought was funny because obviously we covered them in the completionist video. We got around 14,000 library ads, which I guess is when people actually, these are old numbers. I'm going to look up the actual ones. Which is people who have basically added the game to their library because and then we have a separate number for the amount of people who played it. or who activated the software, because a lot of people go through NextFest and just go download, add, and add a bunch of games. And then you see over the week the gap between the activations and the played actually gets smaller, because people are getting through their backlog of demos that they've downloaded, which I thought was quite cool. So yeah, we're about at 12,000 wish lists, and then for the activations, we had 14,350 activations, and of those, just shy of 10,000 actually played the game. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so it was interesting. Thanks everyone for playing it and sharing it and streaming it and putting up YouTube videos about it and giving us feedback and all that sort of stuff. Me and Alex had a big meeting yesterday about it. Feel like we definitely want to do more tiles, more cars, add a bunch, like have a proper single player. We now kind of know we need to have a proper single player kind of thing in there, and we have some good ideas for it. I was talking to him about your story treatment, Jeremy, you did last year. So we might dust that one off as well and see how it fits into everything. So that was pretty cool. So we'll have more information on that in the future. The merch stuff is going to kick off next month, as is the tapes. There's a lot of stuff going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We also got our PAX West panel confirmed. So some cohort of the Noclip crew will hopefully be at PAX West. We might get a table there. I'm not sure. We'll definitely, hopefully, do the panel. I think Alex wants to go up as well, which would be cool. So maybe we'll do something there. Maybe we'll have some devs on the panel. I'm not quite sure. We'll figure it out. I think the mix is on up there as well. So maybe we do a sequel to your video, Frank, or something, and have, check in on the mix when they actually have an event that goes off and it doesn't get cancelled last minute. And then the other thing to say, I guess there's a bunch of other projects that are going on. I think it was a slow couple months because there was a huge backlog, which is largely my fault, just because there was so much. I'm the cork in the bottle when it comes to getting stuff out. We have, off book, what we can't talk about, we have an insane number of docs set up, some absolute bangers that I'm very, 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 very excited about. And we're almost there on a couple of them. It's gonna require some travel, I think, as well. We're gonna head over to Europe at some stage, late July or early August. And have a bunch of other projects going on. But I'm very excited to talk about them and get them up and all that sort of stuff. All right, that's it. Frank, what are you doing for the rest of your day?
Picking up a friend from the airport, going to little Tokyo, and then tomorrow's Nintendo Land, and then Anime Expo. I'm very excited. It's funny because I don't have any time to play video games this weekend, but AEW just dropped their wrestling game.
Oh, they did. It's out now.
Old school N64 type action. So I'll dig into that over the next week or two, but I'm looking forward to that. So good.
Do we know anything about it? About its reception? I'm just looking at it. It looks like in the past couple of hours, some reviews have gone up. Have you read it?
Jeff Gerstmann posted a pretty good take on it, saying it's a budget game, but they're charging for $60.
Okay.
But I've also I need to get my hands on it and see how it plays, but it looks like it feels very arcadey and snappy. I'm eager to do custom characters and goof around in it. My friend Brian was streaming it this morning, and he was going through all of the move set, and it looks like how the old SmackDown games look, which is what I liked a lot. So I'm very hopeful because we'll always get the WWE 2K games, but they are not fun to play. They're sluggish, they're slow because they're trying to make it like sports simulation. But these games should be arcadey, snappy, almost like Smash Brothers. So hopefully it looks cool. I'm definitely more in. I mean, I really don't follow too much AEW or WWE. I like all the GCW indie stuff, but this is more in line with the stuff I'm into. And I don't know. It's nice to have competition in the wrestling pool.
Absolutely.
In the back, this is so separate, but in the back of my mind, GCW, this promotion that I'm obsessed with, they announced they're doing an exploding death match in Tijuana. And part of me really wants to go down to Tijuana. That sounds like the worst idea, but I want to go.
It's not that far. Yeah, I mean, when you were in San Diego, I guess it was really close.
Yeah, so it's now I got to convince other people, who wants to go to TJ with me? I want to go to this exploding death
What's
match.
An exploding?
Yeah, what is the exploding part to know?
So I don't know. I think they rigged the ropes. It's all gimmick stuff like fireworks, but when they flow into it, it explodes. But people get fucked up. So I don't know.
Is this why it's happening in Tijuana?
Yes,
yes. People blow up.
Yeah,
you can't blow people up in America.
They in LA, they host events at the Ukrainian Culture Center, and they almost got banned because they climbed to the very top and threw someone off, and they almost got banned. I don't know. GCW is the coolest thing in the world, and I love it. They do moves and stuff that's banned from AEW and WWE, but so either way, wrestling is always cool.
Forbidden moves.
Yeah,
I love it. The fucking, what do they do? The crippler crossface.
it's. I mean, like like pile drivers, like light tube shit, just like.
Oh yeah.
Just it's good old school fun.
5-finger death punch.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Fish hooking. All that sort of stuff. I watched the Super Eye Patch Wolf video about Roman Reigns. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Super Eye Patch Wolf. He'll be at Anime Expo, I believe. Irish YouTuber, does a bunch of wrestling stuff. He's got like 1.6 million subs. He's got a pretty big channel. It's he did one on Roman Reigns and the sort of like the Shield all the way to. I guess I didn't know about the whole tribal Roman stuff, about how they actually pulled it off. I couldn't believe it. So I didn't know anything about that. So, and I've interviewed Roman Reigns. We had him on the couch at GameSpot before, and he was such a super nice guy. But I felt for him because he just could not get over on the crowd was just hated it. And it was many times they pushed him. So there's a really good hour and 20 minute long video essay all about it, and I was shocked. I didn't realize what happened at the end. It pulls in all there's Sami Zayn stuff in there and all that's in it, so it's pretty up to date. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, we don't talk about wrestling all that much on here. Well, I guess awesome. I guess you do, but yeah. Check out the AEW thing. Yeah, I'm glad it's out, even if it's getting middling reviews. I think like you said, it's always hard to do it the first year. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. Jeremy, what are you doing for the rest of your day?
I'm going to keep working on the Heroes of Might and Magic video. I'll probably play a little more King's Bounty. I don't know if you guys ever played King's Bounty before.
King's Bounty?
It is a New World computing game by JVC, the inventor of Might and Magic. John Van... I can never say his last name. I learned how to pronounce it probably 6 times yesterday. It's John Van Canegum, I think is how you say his name.
John Van Canegum.
If you asked me, I would have said Canum, but it's not Canum.
John Van Canegum. Yeah, it's almost set up to make you trip.
It looks like the thing you would think it's not is what it is. But he, along with Might and Magic, invented a game called King's Bounty. It is the precursor to Heroes of Might and Magic. It has since been remade they bought the rights, some like Eastern European studio in the late 2000s. So there is a modern King's Bounty that is unrelated. But yeah, it's like a weird rudimentary version of Heroes of Might and Magic, where you just go around, you're a little hero, and you raise armies of little creatures and go around fighting stuff. And I played it for like an hour yesterday, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's really, really fun.
Yeah.
So probably play a little bit more of that, do Heroes of Might and Magic video, and been doing a lot of 3D modeling of little characters for my game lately. So
sorry, a little Bolshevik frog there.
yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah, I got a lot of weird. I like the contrast of very like cute, silly characters and kind of more serious, heavy themes. So I did like a little cute duck, and he's wearing a very kind of like historically accurate Bolshevik hat from the 19-teens.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Good stuff. I love the fact that we've been like silently talking about your game in the past, or over the past year or so. And eventually, as time does, there will be a game at the end, and then maybe we'll get to talk about it or play it. Like I think that's like super cool.
Yeah, I've been thinking about when I want to announce it. I guess I want to just like have something. I want to have like a sequence of the game that's super polished, so I can kind of show what the game plays like before I explain what it is. But yeah, I've been working on my pitch. I'm very excited. I have like in my head the sort of 2-sentence elevator pitch for it that I'm excited to share. I just want to wait until I can then be like, and this is what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Nice. If you want, I can either put on my supportive friend and confidant hat, or I can put on my I've spent 6 months doing pitch decks and my brain has melted hat if you want as well.
Yeah, I will consult you for both of those at some point before I go public with it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you all so much for listening to this podcast. Of course, you can support our independent asses over patreon.com/Noclip. You can be a free patron. Go set yourself up as a free patron. You get access to the patron show and a bunch of other stuff. We're going to do the push for the tapes pretty soon, the merch, all that sort of stuff. We definitely need to get more funding in here, so that all your kind patronage is very much appreciated. Until next time, play some video games. We'll see you around. Bye.